Tsutomu Miyazaki, the Otaku Killer. Born August 21, 1962 in Tokyo, Miyazaki had a hand deformity and long-standing social isolation. Between August 1988 and June 1989, he abducted and murdered 4 young girls ages 4 to 7 in Tokyo and Saitama Prefecture. He sexually assaulted and mutilated the victims' corpses, preserved body parts as trophies, and sent remains, ashes, and teeth, and taunting letters to their families. His arrest came on July 23, 1989, after being confronted while photographing a child. A search of his 2-room apartment yielded over 5,000 videotapes, including graphic and horror materials. His collection and obsessive behavior caused a public moral panic around the otaku subculture. In his trial, the main issue was his criminal responsibility. While psychiatrists suggested mental disorders, including schizophrenia or dissociative identity, the courts ruled he was aware of his acts and thus criminally liable. The Tokyo District Court sentenced him to death on April 14, 1997. The death sentence was upheld by the Tokyo High Court in June 2001 and by the Supreme Court in January 2006. He was executed by hanging on June 17, 2008. Miyazaki's crimes remain among Japan's most disturbing. Child victims, necrophilia, cannibalistic overtones, and body trophies made him the focus of national trauma. Futoshi Matsunaga with Junko Ogata, Kitakyūshū serial murders. Matsunaga was born April 28, 1961 in Kitakyūshū, Fukuoka Prefecture. Between 1996 and 1998, he orchestrated prolonged torture, confinement, and murder of at least 7 people. Some sources say 7 to 9 victims in the Kitakyūshū area. He recruited Junko Ogata, his common-law partner, as an accomplice. Their victims included Ogata's own parents, her sister, brother-in-law, nieces, nephews, and others. They were forcibly confined, subjected to starvation, electric shock torture, forced to abuse one another, extorted, and eventually murdered when deemed no longer profitable. Their exploitation of familial bonds, psychological domination, cult-like control, and sadistic violence made the case one of Japan's worst. The case came to light when a surviving victim escaped in March 2002 and reported the abuse. Matsunaga was arrested in 2002, convicted of 6 counts of murder and 1 manslaughter in 2008, and sentenced to death. His appeal was denied and the sentence remains. Ogata was initially sentenced to death in 2005, but her sentence was commuted to life imprisonment in 2007 by the High Court. The sheer scale of abuse, the complicity of a partner, and the long duration of terror mark this as distinct among Japanese serial murder cases. Satarō Fukiage. Born February 1, 1889 in Kyoto Prefecture, Fukiage grew up in poverty, committed theft and sexual assaults from a young age, and escalated to serial murder. He murdered at least 7 young girls ages roughly 11 to 16, between 1906 and 1924 in various prefectures in Japan. Fukiage's modus operandi involved luring children with sweets or small gifts, then strangulating them, and often engaging in necrophilia with the corpses. He admitted to many more, claiming up to 13 murders, though fewer were proven. He was arrested in July 1924, tried, and convicted of 7 murders. The Supreme Court upheld his death sentence on July 2, 1926, and he was executed by hanging on September 28, 1926. His case revealed early 20th century Japan's concerns about sexual violence, juvenile delinquency, and criminal rehabilitation, and remains one of the first widely recognized serial murder cases in Japan. Yoshio Kodaira. Kodaira was born January 28, 1905 in Tochigi Prefecture. He served in the Imperial Japanese Navy during the war, reportedly in Manchuria, and is believed to have committed war crimes. After Japan's surrender in the chaotic post-war period, 1945-46, he raped, robbed, and murdered at least 8 women in Tokyo and Tochigi Prefecture by luring them into woods or farm work under false pretenses, like employment, food. Kodaira's method: he approached vulnerable women, often young, early 20s, offered a job, then led them to remote rural settings where he raped and strangled them, stole their money and shoes, geta, and sometimes engaged in necrophilia. He was arrested August 20, 1946. Tried beginning June 18, 1947, convicted of 7 out of suspected up to 10 murders, the Supreme Court sentenced him to death on November 16, 1948. He was executed by hanging on October 5, 1949, at Miyagi Prison. Kodaira's crimes are often viewed within the context of post-war disruption in Japan. Demobilized soldiers, broken institutions, poverty, and women in desperate situations. Akira Nishiguchi. Born December 14, 1925 in Osaka Prefecture, Nishiguchi was a career fraudster and con artist whose criminal escalation culminated in a short spree of murders late in 1963. Between October 18 and December 29, 1963, he murdered 5 people while perpetrating confidence scams across Fukuoka, Shizuoka, and Tokyo. Victims included men and women he had defrauded or befriended under false pretenses. On January 3, 1964, he was arrested in Kyushu after intense nationwide manhunt. His identification by a 10-year-old girl who recognized him from wanted posters played a big role. In December 1964, he was sentenced to death. All appeals failed. He was executed by hanging on December 11, 1970. His case prompted changes in Japanese policing, the Metropolitan Designated Case System, and inspired the film Vengeance is Mine, 1979, based on a novel by Ryuzo Saki.